Hi, I'm Jay Allen from My True North, and in this video I want to explore a little bit more about staff and the people that you've got working for you. Now, in a previous video we've already talked about the importance of being able to take somebody on in your business, if you've not already done so, to stop you from doing the doing in your business. There's a lovely expression: if you haven't already got an employee, it's because you are one. And it's always about being able to understand the importance of not getting embroiled back into the day-to-day doing of the business, but in actual fact sitting above the business and managing its business and its growth. But taking on an employee is quite a task. It's quite a significant investment. If we get it right, then it proves to be an exceptionally well worth investment. Get it wrong, and it could actually cripple exactly everything that we've built up already. So in this video, I want to quickly share with you a few thoughts about making sure that we've got the right people doing the right things in our business, so it does become an investment and not a massive cost. Now, I'm going to give 2 or 3 examples in this video, because it seems to be that recently I've had 2 or 3 clients that have come to me with staffing type problems. I'm not going to mention any names or any businesses, because that would be unethical and that's not what we want to do. But I certainly want to be able to share with you a few examples of how people have got it right or get it wrong. The first one is a guy I'm working with at the moment, and have been for the last 18 months. When we first started working together, his business was pretty much a real startup. It had only been trading for 4 or 5 weeks. But he already understood the principles of being able to get some form of external validation and some accreditation and some support to be able to make sure that he wasn't going to make the wrong mistakes in his business. So he recruited me as his coach, and I've been working with him for about 18 months. Over that 18 months, we've seen significant growth in his business, to the extent that he's now got 4 full-time employees, which is great news. The business is growing at a very progressive rate, which is great. However, most recently, one of the conversations in our one-to-one coaching has been about whether he's got the right people and not just people. You see, the first person he took on to be able to do all the things that needed to be done, which he didn't ought to be doing. The doing of the business, as opposed to the marketing and the growth of the business, which is great. And let's call her Alison for argument's sake. And Alison has done a wonderful job. She's always turned up early, she's gone home late, she's put the hours in, she's got to learn the business, she understands what's being done, everything's going well. To the extent that over the next 2 or 3 months, we've established that Alison needs some staff in order for her to continue doing the things that she now needs to do, in order for him to distance himself a little bit further away from the doing. And everything so far is going great. However, the conversation we had earlier this month was with regards to his absolute frustration about having to come back in and do a lot of the doing because things are going awry. And they're going awry quite quickly. And what we've established is that whilst Alison's good at doing the doing, he's automatically almost promoted her to be an office manager, because he's brought in other people to do the doing, and he's almost rewarded her for time service and said, well, you're the first one in, and therefore the first one that ought to be looked at for promotion or growth to a better position or a more affluent position in the business, rather than acknowledging the fact that Alison doesn't have those skills or attributes, and we haven't provided them for her. Alison's not a team player. She's not a manager of people. She doesn't understand or seems to want to understand anything to do with delegation. And the problem is falling awry that there are people around her that are looking to her for direction, that she's uncertain as to how or what to do, and therefore got back involved in the doing themselves. And the whole thing's going a little bit wrong at the present. One of the questions I asked him was, if you knew then what you know now, would you have given her the role of office manager? And without a shadow of a doubt, he said, oh no, definitely not. I went, okay. I said, so if you knew then what you knew now, would you have taken her on? Oh, she was brilliant for the business when we first started. It's just that as we've grown, she struggles to grow with it. And that's just it. I remember my first business. I bought a business. I cheated. I bought an existing business with 3 staff and an office and some clients already. It was an existing turnover business where the owner was looking to retire, and I bought it as an ongoing entity. But I remember full well when I first made redundant the office manager of that business. She'd worked for the business for 9 years before I bought it, and she worked for me for 18 months, but I had to let her go. She didn't necessarily want to go at the time, but it was the right thing for the business to do, on the basis that the business has outgrown her capabilities or her willingness to want to be able to grow with it. And as a result, her incapability of growing with the business or being willing to want to learn as to how to be bigger was holding the business back. It actually reminds me of the book from Jim Collins called Good to Great, where he talks about staff being the most beneficial asset if you get them right. You see, if we get it wrong, there is the risk that they're just coming along for a free ride. That in actual fact they stop seeing this as the growth potential and their part within it, and just look at it for a salary. And that causes stagnation. If there's one thing that's more difficult than swimming, it's actually just treading water, because you're using exactly the same amount of energy and you're going nowhere. And that's what happens to businesses. That's what happens to businesses all the time if we allow stagnation of either our thoughts and our ideas or our progress or our people. So please, make sure that the people on your bus are the ones that want to be where you're going. I want you to be able to get to know all of your staff and their aspirations, and to understand as to what it is that they want to achieve, and make sure that it's what you want the business to be able to achieve for them. There is nothing worse than working in a job or a role that's actually going nowhere and it's simply a mortgage feeder. They're actually holding the role hostage from the next good person that's out there, desperate to be able to come and work for you if they see the opportunity for growth in your business. So please, keep it keen, keep it lean, understand that everyone involved has to be a fee earner of either a direct or indirect opportunity, and that we are all working towards a bigger goal. In closing this video, I just want to quickly share with you one last thought. As soon as you employ one person, just one, you have a responsibility to allow this business to become, and to the fruition, to become the business that it deserves to be. And everyone involved in the business should be of the same opinion, that a business is bigger than any one person within it, and we are all working as employees in it to allow it to be able to grow and grow and grow. If you want to know more about how My True North, the ethical coaching company, might be able to help you with this or any other problems that you might be suffering in you and your business to create significant and sustainable growth, then simply get in touch by emailing inquiries@mytruenorth.biz, and I'd look forward to being able to speak to you or put you in touch with one of my ethical coaching team. Thanks.